Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome sports fans to this live video streaming event from Table Rock Sports Productions in partnership with our local school districts and sponsors. I'm Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore. We got Jared Thomas on the camera coming to you live from U.S. Cellular Field number 10 in Medford, Oregon, and we thank you for joining us today. The Lithia Superstore Game Night is powered by Siskiyou Cellular in Southern Oregon, today featuring the Cascade Christian Challengers against the number 2 4A team in the state, the Marist Spartans. We're pleased to bring you this game on TableRockSports.net in partnership with the Grace Cascade Christian School District and our participating community business partners. Joe Brett is the executive producer for tonight's event. Our sponsors keep these events free for our fans to enjoy. Please let them know that you appreciate their support. Please help Table Rock Sports by subscribing to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, search Table Rock Sports and click on the red subscribe button. Thank you if you already have. All right, Jim McCoy here along with Mark McLemore. We're up on the rooftop, and as you can see, it's nice to be in a place where you can see the mountains and not what you're breathing. And
Boy,
and now we've got that in the rearview mirror. Now this feels like a fall Friday night in Southern Oregon.
Well, especially when we're here at our home field for a change, because we've gone to Bend and it was smoky there. We went to Wairika and they moved the game because it was smoky there. And to be at home with some clear skies and a Challenger football game, yeah, you're right. It definitely feels like finally somewhat of a normal football game, if you can call it that, in this current state we live in.
Absolutely, and the Challengers tonight, after a 44-0 thrashing of the Miners down in Mount Shasta, it's going to be a different ball game tonight as the Challengers take on arguably the best team in the 4A and maybe one of the best teams overall in the state of Oregon.
Well, yeah, you can look at their scores from the first three games. It's 42 points, 42 points, 49 points, and holding their opponents to 14 at the most. So definitely a quality football team in Marist. And, they've typically had a quality program up at Marist for years now. So not a surprise that they're ranked as high as they are, and they will definitely be a challenge for Cascade Christian.
Absolutely. Well, they're getting ready to go to the national anthem, and that'll give us an opportunity to recognize ours of the field and getting some of the preliminaries done here. Think of getting everybody, you want to do it just right, And the Challengers, I think it's safe to say this will be the best team they've seen so far, by far.
By far.
But you know what? I think for Marist, I don't know that they faced a team quite like Cascade yet either.
No, but Lapine was not a bad team. We just didn't get to play a whole game. So, I think that's that could have been a real interesting game had we got to play a second half.
Yes, it would have. It sure would have. Well, as Don Sample from the public address gets things ready for us, why don't we go ahead and go to break, and then we'll return and get you ready for the start of the game after these messages.
Power Days at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up with a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from one of our largest inventories ever of new Jeep Cherokee 4x4s. Test drive a new Ram 1500 and see why Ram is Motor Trend's back-to-back three-peat truck of the year. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. Get Ram Power Days special pricing on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
Dear Dad, I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports. I love my team. I just want to play, but not if you always lose your temper. Love, Katie.
Know your role. Learn more at southernoregonsports.com.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
This year, don't just replace your windows, renew them with beautiful and energy-efficient windows from Bill's Glass. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home or auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
And then you just heard from the wind ensemble from Cascade Christian High School with the playing of our national anthem. We're getting ready to bring football your way as the Challengers get ready to tee it up with the Spartans. The Challengers, just a 1-0 record, even though this is technically week 4 of the season.
Yep.
But the Challengers, first game, ended at halftime. Second game, wiped out due to COVID last week. Got that game in, and the Challengers came away victorious. And now tonight they go up against Marist, and we're getting into a portion of the Challengers schedule, Mark, that's going to be a tough one. And this may be, however, the best team that the Challengers see on their schedule, with all due respect to Siuslaw and St. Mary's.
Yeah, I mean, and Springfield down the road as well. Because, you know, a few of those league opponents that would normally have taken those slots, like, you're not seeing them in there. There's no teams.
Brookings
Harbor is one of them, and the other one was Douglas.
Yeah,
I was trying to piece that together. But, yeah, Brookings Harbor and Douglas, we talked about it a little bit last week, actually. Neither one of those schools fielding teams, so the Challengers filling those holes with Siuslaw and Springfield. But you're right. I think if Marist played Springfield, Marist probably beats them. So, Marist may be the best team the Challengers see on their schedule this year, and it'll be a good game. South Umpqua, though, remember last year with South Umpqua. South Umpqua very improved from we saw a little bit of them last year where they moved the football up and down the field against that Challenger team last year, remember, and just couldn't put the ball in the end zone. So South Umpqua will be another good team on the schedule, I think.
Yeah, well, and then tonight, I look at this game, and I think it's going to come down to the defenses. We know we know. Marist comes in with a strong running attack and multiple running backs and a quarterback who can get out and run. I think the real strength of the Challengers thus far, well, you figure in 6 quarters of football they haven't allowed any points yet, and I think in this stage of their development, as is usually the case.
Yep.
You have a team that defensively is ahead of the offensive unit. So can they go out and get stops tonight? Then the next question is, we know what Marist can do offensively. What can they do defensively against the Challengers, especially with this Challenger offense that's a little more oriented toward the power game than it has been in years past?
Well, I think that's true, but I think if you're Marist and you've watched any of the Challengers or heard about any of which that's a whole other issue with us only playing half a game in Bend and a game down in Mount Shasta. I don't know that Marist got to see much of us, so that's going to be interesting for them to kind of adapt to what we're doing as well. When they're on defense. But I think you're going to see a Marist team's going to make the Challengers throw the football. So I think tonight, if the Challengers are going to be successful in this game, offensively, Keith Reed is going to have to throw the ball better than we've seen him so far this season.
And his receivers are going to have to catch the rock.
Yes, absolutely.
So the Spartans, who are in white uniforms this evening, back deep to receive is number 25, Ty Diapoli. And he's back along with Lucas Tusky, and he's going to be the guy among all the offensive weapons that we'll have our eyes particularly on early this evening.
Yeah, and Tusky, he's 6 foot 195, and I'll tell you what, he is he is a load. You can see just from looking at him, he's put together very well. And the Challenger defense, it's not going to be arm tackles on that guy. You're going to have to hit him.
Absolutely. JT Knobloch set to kick it off. It'll go back to DePoli. He'll take it, run across the 20-yard line, gets it up to the 22, so a nice return.
Flag on the play, Jim, it looks like.
All right, Tristan Wallace with the stop for Cascade Christian. And usually when you see a flag on a return, it's on the return team. Let's see if this is the case.
Usually either a block in the back or but they're pointing at Cascade. Let's see. How do you call holding on the defense? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Didn't he just call hold on the defense?
Okay.
How do you call defensive holding on a kickoff? I don't get that. Sorry.
No.
I've never seen that one before.
Well, no, you have.
There you go.
Just to the left of the quarterback. You can see they line up with a pair of running backs in the backfield. Shotgun formation. And looks like there will be a penalty call against the Spartans.
And it looks like it's Carter Green as the quarterback for the Spartans.
And well, here he can get out and run too. It's 6 foot 175. He's no shrimp.
No, and it looks like usually when you see teams with three backs like that in the backfield, that always gives them a lead back, gives them an extra blocker. So that's usually what they use them for.
On first down, they give to Caden Aoma. Aoma is another guy that has made some headlines for the Spartans. He ends up picking up a couple of yards on the play to bring up second down and long. Green has some time, but he's going to go ahead and take off and run. He gets pursuit from, I believe that's Cameron Regg. I tell you what, I'm high on this kid. We saw him make plays last week, and he's been making plays at the JV level, and he may not be on that JV level very long if he hasn't already passed over already.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job, especially as a freshman.
Third down, we'll call it about 6. Green with the football, but the Challengers swallow that up. We see Tyler Almacy there. I think I also see Liam Benatti out there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Fourth and about 4. So good job by the Challengers of getting a stop on the first possession.
So now the Spartans get ready to kick it away. Almacy now. And we've talked a lot about as an offensive player, but as a defensive player, he stood out last week as well.
Yeah, made some great plays on the football when it was in the air.
So now he'll step back, play return man.
Blocked.
And a block. And now taking off and running with it is the punter, but he gets first down yardage and more, crosses midfield. Regg will run him down. And the Spartans catch a break.
Returns the ball. Yeah, 25 yards, if you can believe it, as the punter picks up the football and runs for 25.
Connor Chase, number 11, 5'11", 155. So now it's 1st and 10 down at the 36 of Cascade Christian. Green in the backfield, along with Tusky, and now Aoma moves into a slot receiver spot. They have favored the ground game, and the Challengers so far okay with that. But
well, except for the punter.
Yeah. Green, he's hit, and he's dropped. And guess who?
You said it earlier. You know who it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Cameron Regg again, making a play out there for the Challengers.
That kid's going to be scary when he's a senior. He's scary now. So he drops the quarterback. It'll bring up a second down and 10. Green, the quarterback, out of the gun.
Loss of about 6.
He's looking left, and the pass goes through the hands of Chase. Back there ready to collapse on him is Brody Sample. So that Challenger defense for you. Back there in the secondary, yes, Sample number 10. Tyler Almacy, Peyton Maurer, a playmaker back there as well. And over on the other side, it looks like we got JT Knobloch.
And Chase wide open in the flat. And remember, that was a problem for the Challengers down in Wairika. That was one of the few areas that the Miners were able to find some open space as well.
Green getting some pressure, loses the handle on the football, and he's going to take off and try to run with it. But the Challengers there with great defense. Looks like we've got, Cole Shields back there, and
Tristan Wallace again.
Well, I tell you what, that to me, right, what we're seeing right now, to me, this is the ball game, is going to be what the Challengers can do defensively.
And so far, after a big break for Marist, they're back about the same place they were, going to punt the football again.
Tyler Almacy back at his 14-yard line, low snap, gets the kick away this time, and it'll hit the turf right at about the 26 and takes a kind of a Challenger bounce, actually. And the Challengers get decent field position for their first series of the ball game offensively. Keith Reed will come out as quarterback for the Challengers. 10 for 22 for 113 yards last week against the Miners.
As the Challengers really kind of concentrated on the ground game, I felt like a lot in that game. The ground game was working for them. They didn't have to do a lot of other things against the Miners, and so they ran the football quite a bit. But Keith still is working on some timing issues with some of those receivers. And remember, it's the first full game of quarterback for him last week.
Wallace in the backfield, along with Reed. He'll look right, pass complete to Almacy. He crosses the 35-yard line up to the 37. They like that play to open the game. You notice that?
Yeah, they do. That's the second time I think we've seen him run that to open the play. Almacy is a great receiver, but he's also a good runner with the football after he catches it. So a nice job getting about 9 out of that play and setting the Challengers up in second and short.
Wallace in the backfield. Almacy split out wide to the right. Shields the slot on the left side. Reed looking right, completes the pass once again. First down yardage for Almacy. Almacy wrapped up and tackled by Joshua Rodriguez, 5'10", 150-pound senior. So the Challengers.
Well, and they're just giving him that little short hitch route, and if they're going to give them to him, the Challengers will take that, and that's exactly what they did. They got another 10 yards out of it and a first down, and the big cushion on the outside receiver so far. Let's see if the Marist makes some adjustments.
Lined up as a slot on the left side is the tight end, Austin Waits. They'll give to Wallace. Wallace finds running room. He breaks it through there, the first down.
Yeah, nice run by Wallace. Picks up 14 yards and another Challenger first down. And so far, the Challenger offensive line doing a good job of opening up holes, and the receivers blocking down the field, and everything the Challengers have tried so far has worked.
So they'll move the ball down to the 41-yard line of the Spartans for 7:19 to go in the first quarter of play. Scoreless ball game. Challengers on their first offensive series. Almacy goes in motion to the left side. That's when you might think fly sweep, but instead, on that little read option play, it's Reed with it. He doesn't run a ton, but he does enough to keep you honest, and he picks up about a yard there.
Well, and that's one of those plays where he's reading the end. If the end takes the fly sweep guy, he's got to keep the football, and that's exactly what he did. He saw the end come upfield to cut off the fly sweep, and then he keeps it. And so that was the right read. He just didn't quite get past the defensive end.
Second down and 9 for Cascade. Pair of receivers out to the right, one to the left. Waits in tight. Pass complete. They'll go ahead and fire it for Cole Shields. Nice little pickup on second down. That should move them in the vicinity of about they're going to give it, you see, there's been one time I thought they gave him an unfavorable spot. This time they give him what I would say was a favorable spot.
Yeah, and so far Keith Reed 3 for 3 to start the game. Good. That's good news for him.
Challengers down at the 32 of the Spartans. Reed, quick drop. Pass complete to Almacy. Almacy struggles ahead, picks up first down yardage and a little bit more.
Yeah, gets about 9 yards out of it, and the Challengers' offense working well so far. And I like the pace. They picked up the pace a little bit from what we've seen previously. It's like you can see what another week of practice has done for them rhythm-wise, is they're going a little quicker with it. And I know that that's what they want to do with this offense, is keep the pace, keep the ball moving.
We got a first down and 10 to the 24 of Marist. In the ball game is Peyton Maurer, looking long and picking it off is A.J. Sargent.
Well, that's a bad read by Keith Reed. He looks in the direction he wants to go for his big tight end, but there's three guys around him. He needs to look that off and go to his second option that time, and he makes sort of a bad decision there and throws the pick.
So the Challengers with good movement, but the drive comes to an end as the Challengers now turn it over.
Yeah, you just can't force those balls into the certain guy. You've got to read the defense and take what they're giving you. That time he tried to force it, and he paid the price.
Yeah, the Spartans dodge a bullet. First and 10 now at their own 20. They'll hand the ball off to, they look like they're going to go to Tusky, but instead, taking the football and running away with it is Aoma. And that'll pick up a first down.
Yeah,
and more.
And more, 20 yards on the play. And a nice job that time by a little misdirection in the backfield, and the Challengers were fooled by that for sure. And a big gain for the Spartans.
First and 10. Spartans at their own 42. Pass complete. Making the catch. Picking up first down yardage. And he has nothing but sideline ahead of him. And scoring a touchdown is Ty Day Powley.
Yeah, nice play that time by the Spartans, obviously, for the touchdown. And I tell you what, you and I talked about at the beginning. They've scored a lot of points so far this season, and another big play for them. And you've got some one-on-one matchups out there in open space. And the Challengers, you got to make those tackles in open space. And that time, the receiver De Poliao with a big catch and a run after the catch for a touchdown.
The attempt on the point after by Sebastian Nogales is good. So, Marist gets a turnover and then turns around and picks up points. 7-0 ball game. We'll be back following these messages on TableRockSports.net.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Sherm's Thunderbird Market has been serving Southern Oregon for over 50 years. We are thankful and proud to be able to say that our employees are like family, and we certainly couldn't serve Southern Oregon so well without them.
I love my job, and what better place to work than for the people who care about you and your community.
We really are treated more like family rather than just employees.
Our loyal customers make my job fun and more enjoyable.
Sherm's is now hiring. Go to our website to see what positions are available.
Your John L. Scott scoreboard shows Marist up early, 7-0. Dave Powley catching a touchdown pass from Green. Now the Challengers on the kickoff return. All Macy scampers up the field across the 20 up to the 25-yard line. So a good kickoff return. And the Challengers, who moved the football well before the interception, will get another shot at it here on their second opportunity of the game. Challenger offensive line for you. We got Bryson Cannon, Matt Moses. Also in there we have Jackson Turi, Liam Benade, Daniel Nearing. Timeout called in the field, but we'll keep it right here at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford. 4:59 to go in the first quarter of play. Table Rock Sports is excited to welcome the Thomason Hospitality Group of Grants Pass and Tap Rock Northwest Grill as a new sponsor. You can enjoy Thomason Hospitality at Elmer's, Pita Pit, and Hugh and Bean locations throughout Southern Oregon. Also, don't forget that fall sports leagues and activities for the entire family are coming your way from the Medford Parks and Recreation Department. Watch your mailbox or visit playmedford.com for the fall activities guide. And we'll have more information in the Medford Parks and Rec halftime report coming up. Teams gathered on the sidelines. Challengers will take it at their own 25, so momentum giveth and momentum taketh away.
Well, yeah, when you're driving like that, it's important to make those good decisions, especially when you get down in the red zone. And unfortunately for the Challengers, that interception happened, and Marist, in 2 plays, travels all the way back 80 yards in 2 plays and picks up the touchdown.
So the Challengers will line up at their own 25. Reed at quarterback. Behind him, Tristan Wallace. Out wide to the right is Al Macy. In the slot left is Cole Shields. Not quite sure we have out wide to the left. Just a little too far away for the eyes of yours truly. On first down, the give is to Wallace. Wallace gets in that strong forward lean, works the ball up to the 30-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play.
And I think we're going to see more and more of that out of Wallace because he seems to be having good success running the football from that spot right behind Keith Reed in the pistol.
Reed, you can hear him clapping his hands together, and they'll go ahead and give to Wallace again. This time, Marist having nothing of it. And they'll give it another go with the ball at the 31, at their own 31-yard line. Sample is split out wide to the left. Over on his side is Austin Waits, the big tight end. Over on the right side, we got Shields and Almacy. Takes the snap. Looks right. Almacy makes the catch.
Nope, he dropped it.
And this killed the Challengers last week, and they cannot do that tonight.
Well, and you got to catch the ball before you run, though. And that time he was getting ready to turn up the field to the outside, and unfortunately not able to turn up the field. So now the Challengers are going to have to punt the football.
So that'll bring up 4th down, and JT Knobloch in to punt it away.
And after the momentum the Challengers had in that first drive, 3 and out here for Cascade.
A high, short, wobbly kick. Lots of pressure from Marist. And that'll end up falling to the turf at the Challengers 47.
Well, the first real test of adversity against this Challengers football team. And so far, the defense now has to step up and react to it.
Yes, they do.
Because that was not a good kick, and that was not a good offensive possession. And Marist with a quick touchdown on their last drive. Let's see if the Challenger defense can step up.
On first down, it's Green looking right. Wide open is the Powley. And he picks up first down yardage.
And they're just going to keep throwing that. That's the same exactly pass that they've been throwing that they threw for the touchdown. So the Challengers got to make an adjustment there. He is wide open in the flat, and that's the same play that we saw the Miners run against the Challengers as well.
Ball down to the 30. Marist on the move on first down. And we really haven't talked a lot about Tusky, but Tusky makes the most of his opportunity there, and he'll pick up first down yardage for the Spartans.
Well, and you can see the Challengers were sort of concentrating on the run game initially, and they were able to stop Marist from running. So Marist started throwing the ball, and now they can go back to the run once they loosen that Challengers defense up, and that's exactly what you saw them do there.
Green out of the gun, and he thinks about taking it off himself, but the Challengers say, I
think that was supposed to be an option play, but he really couldn't get one of the defensive ends for the Challengers was sort of in the way of the pitch. And so that was a no-gainer that time.
So that'll keep the ball at the 16-yard line of Cascade Christian. 2nd down and 10. Green hands it to the other back, and that is none other than Caden Ioma.
And a 16-yard touchdown, and you saw it. You know, we talked about it. You cannot arm tackle these backs, and that's exactly what the Challengers tried to do there, is hit him with some arm tackles, and, you know, he's too tough for that as he takes it right into the end zone.
Well, you know what? A couple times like that, and I'll break you of that in a hurry.
Oh, absolutely.
So now extra point try by Connor Chase. The kick is up. It's a line drive job, and it's good. 2:20 left to go. And Marist leads 14-0 on your John L. Scott scoreboard. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Your daily adventure at My Circle K. Whether it's some Monday motivation to kickstart your day, adding some crunch to your lunch, or fueling up for a road trip, your journey begins with My Circle K, powered by GP Energy.
At 3 o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform? Thirsty for change? Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win. Yes! Yes! Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
It doesn't matter how old you are. Buying supplies for a road trip should always look like an unsupervised 9-year-old was given $20. Relive those days. Live life full circle. My Circle K, powered by GP Energy.
14-0 ball game. Marist showing us some of what makes them one of the best, if not the best, 4A team in the state. As they take a 14-0 lead, they struggle on their first series, capitalize on a Challenger turnover to get their first touchdown, and then after the Challengers had a problematic drive, it gave the Spartans a short field and opportunity to put 7 more on the board. So how will the Challengers react? We'll find out. End over end kick, kind of short. He'll hit at the turf, and the Challengers, and breaking it out to the outside, it is Tyler Almacy. He'll get a pass the 35-yard line up to about the 38. The Challengers get some good field position out of this.
Yeah, let's see if they can move the football this time. Can't afford really here to have another 3 and out after the 14-point lead now by Marist. So Challengers need to figure out a way to get some points on the board here and take some of that momentum back that they had before the interception.
Challengers come out with Sample to the left, Almacy to the right. Looks like they're going to do a 2 tight end set with Maurer and Waits. And now they got Reese Barney into the ball game. So now it's a 3 receiver set. On first down, Reed, quick drop, pass complete to Maurer. Maurer takes it out to the 48-yard line. So a nice start there.
Yeah, a good throw, good little route by Maurer. Ball thrown on time, and he gets 10 and a first down for the Challengers.
Reese Barney in the ball game, split out wide right. We have Almacy and Sample to the left side. Maurer in as a tight end. Challengers at their own 48. Maurer goes in motion to the left side. Wallace, the single setback. Reed hands to Wallace. Wallace, though, swallowed up. Good defensive play by Owen McComber. McComber, 5'11", 175-pound senior linebacker. Nothing doing on the play for Cascade.
Yeah, that offensive line's got to fire off the ball, and that was a good read by Marist from his linebacker spot. McComber, and you can see him. He's playing 4 or 5 yards off the ball, off the line of scrimmage. Was able to shoot through a gap. Made a nice tackle for Marist.
Wallace in the backfield, also back there, it looks like Sample. And a little pressure, fires the pass out to Wallace. Wallace at the 50-yard line, slips forward to the Spartan 48.
And a great job by Keith Reed of just getting that one off to Wallace. Not a big gain, but gets a little bit, makes it 3rd and shorter anyway for the Challengers.
That'll bring up, call it about a 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, yep, 3rd and 6 or so for the Challengers.
Reed trips to the left side. Reed, quick pass. It's complete. First down yardage. More, that's Sample as he takes it down to the 30.
We got a hold, though, Jim. Hold on. I'm pretty sure they're going to call whoever was out there at the wideout spot, which I couldn't really catch a number, but blocking of holding downfield on that block.
Yeah, that's way out across from us.
Yep. And it's a spot foul, so, it'll come 10 yards back from about the 43, so put it about the 48, I think. The 30.
About where they were before.
Yep, so pretty much the 10 yards that they gained on the pass is eliminated by the penalty.
So the Challengers into a little deep water here, down 14-0 with 8 seconds left in the first. I have a feeling that
they're just going to let it run out, I think.
And they do. After 1 quarter, it is Marist 14, Cascade Christian nothing. We'll be back after these messages on Table Rock Sports.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Sherm's Thunderbird Market has been serving Southern Oregon for over 50 years. We are thankful and proud to be able to say that our employees are like family, and we certainly couldn't serve Southern Oregon so well without them.
I love my job, and what better place to work than for the people who care about you and your community.
We really are treated more like family rather than just employees.
Our loyal customers make my job fun and more enjoyable.
Sherm's is now hiring. Go to our website to see what positions are available.
And so the
offside penalty there gives the Challengers 5 yards, and we'll turn our mics on. How about that?
You know, that might not be a bad idea. They can see what's going on, but they probably wouldn't mind a little help from us, too. 2nd and 3rd down and 2. Hand to Wallace.
And
Wallace
gets shellacked. And guess who it is again? It's McComber.
Yep.
I tell you what, that kid hits people.
Now, the question is how far did he get with his forward momentum? At least on first glance, it looks like he's got it, but barely.
Yeah, It looks like a first down, and they're going to give it to him, I think.
So the Challengers, fresh set of downs.
So the Challengers with 80 yards total, 60 through the air and 20 on the ground in that first quarter. So 80 yards for Cascade Christian, 143 yards for Marist in the first quarter, 68 rushing, 75 passing. So very balanced for Marist.
Challengers in a 1st and 10. Waits the tight end to the right side. Reed, and now going in motion is Almacy. Reed looking long, but he is taken down. Luke Tusky with the sack. And he got through with a little trouble.
He did, didn't take. Keith was just about getting ready to throw that one. It looked like he had Tyler down the field, Almacy, deep in the middle, but didn't get a chance to let it go.
Looked like he fell victim to the lookout block. Lineman turns around and look out.
Loss of 7 on the play for Cascade Christian, so now it's 2nd down and 17.
Challengers at the 49. Almacy in motion, looks left. Pass complete to Sample. He slips a tackler, gets it down to the 45.
So a few yards on that play, but actually you can see Marist defense doing a good job against these different mixed direction plays the Challengers are trying to run. As Sample picks up, 4 or 5 yards, 4 yards maybe.
3rd and 13. Reed with Wallace in the backfield, trips to the left. They'll give to Wallace. Wallace tries to power his way ahead and just on sheer will gets his way up close to the 40-yard line. And it'll bring up 4th down and about 8.
8 or 9, yep.
My suspicion is Getman will go for it.
He's a riverboat gambler, right? We've talked about that before.
Yeah. And it's kind of in that tricky spot in the field where
punting doesn't buy you a lot.
No. I mean, if you punt it and you boot it well, there's a good chance it'll end up back out on the 20. It's like, not a wealth of options.
Well, and Getman's going to call timeout, and what's worked for the Challengers is that little out to Almacy. He's been picking up 6 or 8 yards on that pretty much every time. Wouldn't be surprised to see that play come back around again here.
Would not surprise me at all. For almost 50 years, Bill's Glass has been the clear choice in Southern Oregon. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass supports our schools and our communities, and it's great local businesses that keep the games coming for you, like Sherm's Thunderbird and Food for Less, Avista Utilities, and Travel Medford and the Southern Oregon Sports Commission. Live streams don't happen without our sponsorship partners. So a little conversation going on here in the ball game, and Challengers down by a pair of touchdowns.
Well, and you got to feel like this is a pretty big play for Cascade Christian right here. You know, we talked about it, really need to get some points on the board here. Marist with the 14-point lead. They want to stick around in this game. You got to make something happen. So a good opportunity here to pick up a first down and then continue this drive. So sort of a big play because they turn the ball over on here. It still gives Marist pretty good field position.
It certainly does. And so now we're at a 4th and 9. And what do you think we run here? You talked about that out to Almacy. That's worked out
well, and you can see right here he's on the inside slot. Looks like he's going to be on the inside slot. And my guess is you're going to see the 2 outside receivers go in, and you're going to see him go out. Let's see if that happens.
Got trips to the left side. Inside slot is Almacy. Outside of him is Brody Sample and Reese Barney. Reed looking downfield. Pass is complete. First down, Challengers.
They put Austin Waits out there, the big tight end, one-on-one, trips to the other side. Nice little comeback route for him. He picks up about 13 yards and gives the Challengers a first down. So good, well-thrown ball by Keith and a big first down for the Challengers.
Even on the pick that he threw, Reed has been a lot more on target this evening.
Much crisper tonight. than we've seen him so far this year. And I like rolling him out to his right like that, too, because that gets him on, he's right-handed quarterback. He'd like to roll out to the right when you have to make a big play, and they were able to do that time.
First down, little pump fake, looking long, and once again, you can kind of tell he's looking for his big guy down there, but good coverage by the Spartans. Caden Aoma.
Yeah, Aoma down there again. Remember, he's made a couple of big runs from his running back position. Makes a nice defensive play right there for Marist. And that's that little fake where they pump the little bubble screen, and then they want the blocker to release down the field. And that time well covered by the Spartans.
Second down and 10. Challengers at the 29 of the Spartans. And they fake the fly sweep. Reed goes forward, but
not much there.
Nope. Basically nothing out of that to play to bring up a third down.
Well, what we're seeing right now is that big defensive line for Marist, and there's 3 big defensive linemen right up front for them. And so far, the Challenger offensive line not doing a lot of pushing them out of the way.
Third and 10. Reed with Wallace, a single setback. Reed looking left. And we have that. You could see that one from a mile away.
Yes, you could.
I think Mr. Magoo could have made that call, but fortunately, the officiating crew saw it as well as we did, and there will be a pass interference call against Marist.
Yeah.
So, Challengers catch a break there, and that puts them in the red zone. The officials getting ready to walk it off from the 29. So, Challengers, for the most part, been able to move the football.
Yep, except for the 1 3 and out. They've done a good job of moving it. So far, they haven't, other than the 3 and out, that's the only punt. Obviously, the interception where they drove the length of the field. The other turnover to Marist. And now the Challengers with it here in the second quarter. And making a nice run down the field here. Let's see if they can catch it in with some points.
First and 10 at the 14. Reed hands to Wallace.
And he drops it on the
fumble.
turf.
Could he hang on?
I think one of the linemen got back on it for Cascade, luckily. Looks like that was Bonatti falling on that football down there. Good job by Liam to keep the football for the Challengers after looks like a loss of 3.
It's been fun. I got him in my class this year. It's been fun to get to know him a little bit. He's got that. He's just got a great personality, and he and Bryson Jackson, one of the other football players in the class, he's got a good voice, and does a nice job there on the football field.
Yeah, and he was fun to have in baseball last year as well. Good kid.
Second and 12, 17-yard line. Reed dropping back, looking to throw, and it's picked off. Running down the sidelines, it's Marist with the football, taking it all the way for the Spartans. That is Joshua Rodriguez. Touchdown,
wow.
Spartans.
Yeah, that time forcing the ball a little bit again. Keith Reed trying to throw the ball to Austin Waits again out there on that little comeback route. And that time, a good job of stepping in front and taking that ball to the house by Rodriguez.
20-0 ball game now. And now in to attempt the point after for the Spartans is Connor Chase. Out of the hold of A.J. Sargent. Kick is up. And it is good. John L. Scott scoreboard. It's all Marist right now. They lead the ball game 21-0. We'll be back momentarily.
Seen a new way to achieve the highest level of savings. Peak Rewards. The Peak Rewards app is your roadmap to savings wherever your journey takes you. Simply by using our mobile app, you can shop for a mountain of savings in any of our convenience stores and fuel up for less. Just download the Peak Rewards app, register, find participating stations and stores near you, and start saving. With Peak Rewards, you can travel further for less. So what are you waiting for? Download Peak Rewards today and find a location near you.
Back in here at U.S. Cellular Community Park, Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore. Marist, so far, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, taking advantage of a couple of challenger turnovers. One interception in the end zone. They had to drive the ball offensively. It took them 2 plays to go 80 yards and score a touchdown there. And then this one, a little comeback route to Austin Waits. And unfortunately for Cascade Christian, Rodriguez picks off the pass, runs it back 90 yards for a touchdown. So 2 turnovers by Cascade Christian turn into points for Marist, and they lead the game here 21-0. 6:30 to go in the second quarter. And again, we talked about it. You know, when you're a team like Cascade Christian, you are going to face some adversity. And how you handle that, it helps build the character of your team and how your season's going to go. So this is gut check time for Cascade Christian. Let's see if they can. Still got 6:30 here in the second quarter. Let's see if they can put some points on the board before half.
Brody Sample, Tyler Almacy back deep to receive the kick, and Dalpoli, who we've seen do a little bit of everything, getting ready to kick it away. And kind of an end-over-end squibby kick, and Reese Barney just made
matters worse.
A bad mistake. That, unfortunately, well, it's just one of those things you learn. And, you know, this is how you learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Marist now has the football back after the kickoff and the fumbled kickoff at the Challenger 34.
In his defense, he's a senior, hasn't played football all throughout high school. And, you know, you're talking about instinct right there. You want to make a move for the ball and do something with it. And
instead of just falling on it, like he just learned, I think.
All a part of being human. And meanwhile, it's Tusky, and we have a flag on the play as Tusky goes down the sideline.
It's coming back. It's a hold. It's an obvious hold on Marist. Yeah, it's an obvious hold out there on the wide receiver blocking back, which is A.J. Sargent with the hold.
Oops. Well, we did see some of that speed on display by Tusky and why people rave about him.
Oh, yes.
21-0 ball game, and Cascade Christian, rough go of it in the first half. But, you know, they can still move the football. The deal is, yeah, you're down by 3 touchdowns.
Right.
But you don't have to fold like a 10 at this point.
No, I mean, well, that's what I mean. You know, they have an opportunity here to make a stop, to get the football back and get some points on the board before half. And but, you know, it's going to be key right here for the defense to make a stop.
1st and 20 now for the Spartans. Tusky with that part of that dangerous backfield, and now they go ahead and hand the ball off, and taking off and running with it for first down yardage is Caden Aoma.
Well, he actually looks like he's just a little bit short of the first down, but close. And he
picked up a big chunk of it.
He sure did, about 18 of the 20. And
now they'll go ahead and give to Aoma once again. And this time he'll pick up the first down.
Yep. And there, you can see they're kind of hurrying up their offense now to see what they can do against the Challenger defense. And Cascade going to call a timeout. I think that's a good timeout by Coach right there.
So 5:46 left to go in the first half. Challengers trail 21-0. We'll be back right after this timeout.
and memories are made. Caprock Northwest Grill.
I believe in the bus system. They have always been there for my wife, and I know that she feels safe.
For me, riding the bus is a norm.
Other big cities have bus systems, and everybody rides the bus.
Having RBTD, just a bus stop away from my job, from my school, from my house, allowed me to be able to go to college, to get my 3 degrees, and still be a mom.
Well, the conversation while we were away, Mark, we were just talking about the Challengers having not seen an opponent of the caliber of the Spartans, and it makes me think about that contest that they were thought to have had against Mazama
Sure
a
would have
couple
helped.
of weeks ago.
Sure would have helped.
Right, and that was something that Coach Getman talked about in the Mail Tribune in our article there that, there's nothing like game experience for preparation, and they just don't have a whole lot of it yet. But defensively, nice play by Cascade Christian.
Yeah, Turi in there with a tackle for loss.
I thought among the bright lights last week, he was among the brightest defensively for Cascade.
Yeah, he really was.
So, good, nice-looking play there. That'll bring it up to a 2nd down and 12. Little pitch play, and Tusky manages to haul it in. You look at it there, I mean, he is just not going down. You're talking about, arm tackle won't work on that guy.
Oh, I've talked to, you got to take his legs out. You cannot tackle that kid. And he ends up picking up about 9 yards after probably 8 of those after he got hit.
Yeah.
100 yards on the ground now for Marist here in the first half.
Green, the quarterback. Tusky in the backfield with him. Trips out to the left side. And Green, we know he can run, and he's going to do so here.
Touchdown.
And he runs it in. Touchdown, Marist.
13-yard touchdown by Green.
Well, they talked about that in their article, too, for all the attention that Tusky and Ioma get. Green is a guy you cannot sleep on.
Nope, and, when you give him a short field, too, it doesn't help, and so the Challengers pay the price of that fumbled kickoff, and Marist knows what to do when they got the momentum is go for the throat, and they're doing that so far here in the second quarter.
4:25 left to go in the half, and in to attempt the point after. Connor Chase. His kick is up, and it is good. On the John L. Scott scoreboard, you see Marist up by 4 touchdowns. We'll be back after this timeout on Table Rock Sports.
Workers' comp claim was denied. Or was it accepted? Now what are you supposed to do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Since 1991, Medford area residents have looked to Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon for vision care for the whole family. Specializing in optometry for adults and children, ECA uses state-of-the-art diagnostic tools to scan for health risks and get your prescription just right. Get your students a comprehensive vision check to ensure they have their best chance to learn and succeed. And look good while you see well. Specialists in our optical boutique have extensive styles on hand or can special order. We hope to see your family at Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon. Visit eyecaresouthern.com to learn more.
Waiting, even a few days, to report a work injury or illness could cost you everything. But how do you know what you should do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Now, Paulie, we're about ready to kick it off for Marist. Leading in this one by a score of 28-0. This, for them, is kind of another night at the office. That what we're seeing out here on the field is pretty much about the way the Marist season has gone.
Yeah, they've scored 42 or more points in all 3 of their previous games.
A little short kick.
And it happens again.
And the ball comes down at the 38-yard line. And the challengers give it away.
It's one of those kicks that just spins around on the ground, and you've just got to get on it. You can't wait. And the challengers hesitate, and once you hesitate, you're lost. And that's exactly what happened right there. And unfortunately for Cascade Christian, they're on defense again.
And no answers for that three-headed monster in the Marist backfield. You have Tusky back there along with Green. And you've got Ioma lined up as a slot on the inside over to the left, part of that group of trips. Green dodges a little danger from Bryson Cannon. Does a little hopping around out there and met at about the 38.
Picks up about 3.
So that'll bring up a second down and about 6. And this time it's Tusky. Tusky finds running room. He scampers to the sideline, cuts it back to the inside. Challengers bring him down about the 15, but not before he picks up another Spartans first down.
Yeah, give him 20 yards on the carry, and right now they're just running through and around and over Cascade Christian.
Green hands the ball. Tusky this time, he's followed up on the backfield. Challengers defensively, see over there Cole Shields.
Well, and you can see he's a guy that you've got to plug all the holes. You leave him any space to get through the line, and he's going to get through. So everybody's got to play their gaps if you're on defense here.
2nd and 9. Green now rolling right, gets some pressure, and he's taken down. Challengers with the sack. And there in the backfield, Austin Waite's in there for Cascade.
And timeout, it looks like, going to be taken by Marist.
All right, the Spartans are going to talk things over a little bit with 2:58 left to go in the second quarter of play. Thank you to our sponsors, including title sponsor, the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Superstore on Highway 62, and presenting sponsor, Siskiyou Cellular, with 7 Southern Oregon locations to serve you. Also, today's game is brought to you in part by the Peak Rewards app by GP Energy. Download the app and save on morning motivation, crunch in your lunch, and fuel for your road trip at our many locations. Peak Rewards from GP Energy. Challengers. And the thing of it is, you know, it's one of those you win as a team, you lose as a team type of scenarios, and it's not just, you know,
well,
one of those, you got a lot of little things all adding up.
Oh, you got it. And they're also, it's about effort at this point, right? It's not looking at the scoreboard. It's about doing what you're supposed to do, playing hard, and seeing if you can get a stop here. Start with that. Maybe get some momentum to go into the second half.
Right now,
it's
Challengers, some good defensive effort in the last couple of plays. It was a 3rd and 14.
Yep, 3rd and 13. So see if the Challengers can make a stop and then make Marist decide what they're going to do here on 4th down.
So come in, make one more good play. Green out of the shotgun. Little toss play, a little razzle-dazzle. And he eludes a would-be tackler and ends up down to the 11.
Picks up all that to pick up about 6, which does still make it 4th down and about 7, I think, or 8 for them, for Marist.
And I tell you what, if I'm the Spartans, I'm going for it.
Oh, well, they are. They're lining right up at the line of scrimmage here. Hopefully the Challengers' defense is ready. It's 4th down. Don't jump off sides here and give them 5, though.
Right. Don't make it easier. Fourth and 7 at the 12. Tusky, the single setback. Green looking to his sideline. And you can see that's exactly what they're trying to go for there. Green throws out in the right flat, pass complete, and keeping his feet. We also have...
Now that's coming back. That's a block in the back on...
Connor Chase with some nice athletic moves there with the catch, but
I think Tyler Almasi was out there and got hit in the back as he was going to make a tackle right there. So it should be a foul against, block in the back, which should be a 15-yarder, I think, if I remember correctly.
Well, we'll find out right here. Well, after a little conference.
Well, they're trying to decide if the block in the back is a spot foul or if it's a foul from the line of scrimmage. And I believe it's from the line of scrimmage. And that's where they're moving the ball to, and now they're going to mark it off.
So that takes them from the 8-9-yard line to the 12. And that'll move up to the 27.
So it's a 10-yard penalty, it looks like, from the line of scrimmage, not from the spot of the foul, which I think, now puts them in fourth and quite a ways.
Ioma will now line up as the inside slot, as we see him do from time to time. He's out there with a pair of receivers to his left. Tusky in the backfield with Green. Fourth down, looking left, now looking right. Pass complete to Tusky. He eludes a would-be challenger tackler.
And he gets in the end
scores.
zone.
He's just too fast.
He is very fast. A nice screen pass set up there. And it's a few challengers in the neighborhood, but he managed to outrun the posse for the 22-yard touchdown.
Well, you could see the defender make a dive for him, and probably a lot of other guys, he closes in on that and makes the stop. But Tusky, just that little burst of quickness, and he's out of it. So 34-0. And now Chase to attempt the point after, and it is no good. Your John L. Scott scoreboard shows with 1:45 left to go in the half. Marist leads this game 34-0. We'll be back after these messages.
RVTD means more for our community. Because of RVTD, every student has convenient access to the region's high schools to complete their education. Growing community support. RVTD.
Gather and memories are made. Tap Rock Northwest Grill.
RVTD means more for our community. More people than ever are using the bus to access healthcare, improving the overall health of our region. Growing community support. RVTD.
Back at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford, 34-0 ball game, 1:45 left to go. And the ball kicked along the ground. Cole Shields will pick that up. And not much of a return, but nice field position out of it.
Yeah, the Challengers here with a little bit of time to see if they can maybe get some points on the board here before half. As Marist has dominated so far this football game on all sides of the ball, really. The Challengers, though, haven't ran a lot of plays really in this football game either. So far because of interceptions and fumbles and giveaways. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles for Cascade Christian in this game so far, and we're not even to half yet.
Not a position that the Challengers are used to being in. Challengers with Shields in motion. Rolling left is Reed, looking downfield. Oh boy, I tell you what, good defensive play by Marist. Ty DePoli, and I'm sure I'm butchering that 9 ways to Sunday, but the kid's a player. I mean, that could have gone the Challengers' way.
Well, and when you look at this defense, they've got most of the guys that play running back and wide receiver on their offense or in their secondary, and they've all got some speed, good hands, and some toughness. So a very experienced team, too, from looking at the roster. A lot of juniors and seniors.
Trips to the left for the Challengers. Pass complete to Shields. Shields met by Chase. And Chase just right there and said, you're not getting anything out of this. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Peyton Maurer into the ball game along with Brody Sample. We have Cole Shields in there and Tyler Almacy.
And so far, the Challengers really haven't found somebody they can go to that has the advantage against the Marist defense. The Marist defense has stiffened as the game has gone along. And there's a false start on Cascade Christian, too.
55 seconds to go in the half, and when it rains, it pours. Taking a look at a couple of other scores of local interest. Lake Ridge leads South Medford 14-7 at halftime. And North Medford trailing Liberty at halftime 7-3. JT Knobloch checking into the ball game. Shields will come out. We have Almacy, slot left, along with Sample. Mauer's the slot on the right side. He'll be joined by Almacy now. Reed. Dropping back, looking to throw, and ball's loose on the turf, but after all that, it's incomplete.
And that was one of those through passes where he kind of threw it between the two receivers. I'm not exactly sure who he was trying to throw that one to. 4th down now for the Challengers, so I'm sure they're going to punt the football here. At least I would hope so with 25 seconds to go in the half.
Knobloch looking like he's getting ready to kick it away.
And I tell you what, I think this is one that the Challengers will be, going in at halftime and trying to make some adjustments and also deciding, I think Coach is going to get on them about deciding how hard they want to play here in the second half.
Mm-hmm. And Knobloch, he's going to have to take off and run with it. I don't blame him there. He's going to go ahead and run it up to the 40-41 yard line. He's not even getting any time to kick. It's just one of those nights. You have a young up-and-coming team in Cascade. I mean, when you think about all that they graduated from last year, this is effectively a different football team. And games like this, I can think of times past, a few years back, when Mazama demolished Cascade early in the season, and they came back from that, and they ended up winning a state championship that year.
That's exactly right. So
not predicting that here, but what I am saying is that this...
Sometimes it takes a game like this to make a real team.
It does. It does. Well, you find out what you're made of. You find out how much resilience, how much will you have to go on. Now here, the, wow, a little, what do you call that, the old hook and ladder play?
Yep, old hook and ladder for a touchdown.
And Ioma. And now it's a 40-0 ball game.
Now it's on is what it is.
So just before halftime, maybe if it were me, I'd let the play like that down by this. I'd maybe let that make me mad a little bit.
Maybe it will. Maybe it'll fire up the Challengers a little bit for the second half.
Because I think I would take that personally.
I would, if it was me. And that play happened while I was on the field. I know that.
Yeah. Point after attempt by Chase is up and good. Marist. What can you say? They're playing a whale of a ball game tonight. This is some kind of football team. And we'll be back to show you more after this timeout.
You're a coach or plan to be a coach. What kind of coach do you want to be? This?
Hey! What is that? Come on, guy! You're killing me!
Or this?
I love it. I love what I see. I don't care about the mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Guys making millions of dollars on Sunday, they make mistakes.
Know your role. Learn more at southernoregonsports.org.
There's a time machine, not so far away, that takes you back to a world just a few streets wide, where wonder rules the day, and families are transformed, from the smallest bug-eyed explorer to that surliest know-it-all. So dive into the past and let them see the world through a simpler lens, called Southern Oregon. Their adventure begins when you travel Medford.
Seven seconds left to go in the half. Challengers await the kick from the Spartans, who lead 41-0. Challengers on the return, working his way up to the right sideline, up to about the 32-yard line. Trying to catch the number there.
I think it was Tristan Wallace, yeah.
And the Challengers will have one play left before half. The Challenger will come out with Sample, Shields, and Waits to the left. Almacy will no doubt wind up wide right. And
I think they're just going to take a knee here, it looks like to me.
And that will end the first half of play. And at halftime, on your John L. Scott scoreboard, it is Marist 41, the Challengers nothing. We'll take a timeout and be back with more here on Table Rock Sports.
Workers' comp claim was denied. Or was it accepted? Now what are you supposed to do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Since 1991, Medford area residents have looked to Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon for vision care for the whole family. Specializing in optometry for adults and children, ECA uses state-of-the-art diagnostic tools to scan for health risks and get your prescription just right. Get your students a comprehensive vision check to ensure they have their best chance to learn and succeed. And look good while you see well. Specialists in our optical boutique have extensive styles on hand or can special order. We hope to see your family at Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon. Visit eyecaresouthern.com to learn more.
Waiting, even a few days, to report a work injury or illness could cost you everything. But how do you know what you should do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Sherm's Thunderbird Market has been serving Southern Oregon for over 50 years. We are thankful and proud to be able to say that our employees are like family, and we certainly couldn't serve Southern Oregon so well without them.
I love my job, and what better place to work than for the people who care about you and your community.
We really are treated more like family rather than just employees.
Our loyal customers make my job fun and more enjoyable.
Sherm's is now hiring. Go to our website to see what positions are available.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
This year, don't just replace your windows, renew them with beautiful and energy-efficient windows from Bill's Glass. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home or auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Welcome back. It's halftime. And Marist leads in the ball game by a score of 41-0. To recap the scoring from the first half, Challengers look pretty good defensively on the first series. Marist going to the ground game, and the Challengers doing a pretty good job of limiting it. They got the ball back on the first series, moved the football pretty well. Then it seemed like the whole half turned on an interception by the Challengers. After that, they got the freight train fired up, and it was all Marist after that. With 5:06 to go in the first, it was Green on a 50-yard touchdown pass to Dave Paoli. The point after attempt good to make it 7-0. Then about 3 minutes later, it was Ioma on a 16-yard touchdown run. Point after good to make it 14-0. Then it was Rodriguez early in the second quarter. A 90-yard interception return for a touchdown. And the point after good to make it 21-0. Then with 4:25 to go in the half, Green on a 13-yard touchdown run. Point after attempt good to make it 28-0. Then with 1:45 to go, it was Green once again throwing a touchdown pass, this time to his running back, Tusky. The point after attempt, no good to make it 34-0. Then right before halftime, Green connected on a pass to Chase. Chase pitched it to Tusky, who ran it in for a 40-yard touchdown. And the point after good to give us our halftime score of 41-0. So here at U.S. Cellular Community Park, all Marist for the first half. And Mark, you've got the halftime stats, which... Well,
they are.
Lay it on us.
They are what we thought they would be. I mean, the biggest problem really for Cascade is the turnovers. I mean, you look at the 2 interceptions and the 2 fumbled kickoffs that turn into, there's 4 turnovers right there. And those kind of things just kill you. And that's what's really hurt them in the first half. They moved the ball a couple of different times, and to have those interceptions and fumbles, mainly interceptions, just really causing the problem. So it's you got to take care of the football. That's number one. And number two, right now, the Challengers getting out physical a little bit by this Marist team, especially at the line of scrimmage. The Marist offensive and defensive lines have just done a fabulous job of pushing the Challengers around pretty much however they wanted to. So it's one of those football games where one team is pretty obviously better than the other. And does that mean that the second half can't be better? Certainly it can be better. Don't turn the football over for number one. But it's one of those football games that the so-called snowball started rolling down the hill, and there doesn't seem there was much that Cascade could do about it.
No.
And so looking at the halftime stats for the Challengers in the first half, they had 7 first downs, so they moved the ball a little bit. Rushing yards, 11 carries for 22 yards. Passing, Reed 10 for 16 for 77 yards, but he had the 2 interceptions. Cascade Christian with 55 yards in penalties and total offense of, 55 return yards and a total offense of 154 yards in the first half. Only 99, though, if you take out those return yards on the kickoffs and so really less than 100 yards of offense for Cascade in the first half. It's been a while since we've seen that. Again, 4 penalties for 35 yards, 2 fumbles, and the 2 interceptions. So a rough first half for the Challenge. For Marist, they had a good half, obviously. Ran the ball 20 times for 133 yards in the first half. And, throwing the ball, Green, 4 for 5 for 137. They didn't have to throw it very much.
No.
But when they did, it was very effective. And so running and passing for Marist, 270 yards of offense in the first half. And, we see that turning up on the scoreboard. And they had short field, let's face it. One time the Challengers went 3 and out, the punt was not very good, and Marist got the ball on the 45 and scored. There were 2 kickoffs that were muffed by the Challengers. Marist gets the ball at the 35 of the Challengers and scores twice. So some of this is a pretty self-inflicted wounds on the Challengers' part and stuff they can clean up, and that's the good news. So Marist ends up with 90 yards of returns, 300 on the interception return for a touchdown, by the way. They end up with 90 yards in return yards, 5 penalties for 45 yards, and it's just been one of those halves where everything that could go wrong for the Challengers did, from the very first interception when they're about to score a touchdown to the very last play of the game, which is a hook and ladder for a touchdown for Marist with 7 seconds to go on the clock. So it'll be interesting to see which Challenger team comes out of the. We talked about it during the game a little bit. Diversity. Now time to not look at the scoreboard anymore because you're probably not going to get back in this game. But let's see some effort. Let's see us execute our offense and see if we can at least make the second half productive football.
Let's see who wants to play.
That's exactly right.
Well, think about this. The last time that the Challengers, going by the calendar, not by the seasons, but by the calendar, the last time the Challengers lost a football game was in November of 2019. So you take this senior class, you're going back to their sophomore year. It's been a long time since they've been in a game like this. And probably a game that this lopsided probably would have to go back to that Hidden Valley game that was played here back in the day, and it was, well, let's face it, it was really a 4A team.
Yes.
And so you have a 4A team here, and one of the best at that. You have a young Challenger team. This is going to be a recurring theme, if I may bring the other Challenger sports programs into it, whether we're talking volleyball, where they have 1 senior, girls soccer, where they have 2 seniors, football team, where they have 6 seniors out of a 40-man roster.
And
they're just young.
Yeah, they're just young, and you have to realize the senior class at Cascade is one of the smallest classes I think they've ever had in recent memory.
Right.
Obviously not back to when you were there, and they only had 7 or whatever it was. But, but in recent memory, it's one of the smallest senior classes that they've had at Cascade.
It has been a while. The good news is that a lot of these, what you really hope is those, whether it's the seniors with still a lot of season left to go and a lot, to learn, a lot to be accomplished. This is a good football team. They can make football plays, and we've seen that. And they're capable of more than,
Yeah, and we've seen them move the ball up and down the field in this game.
Yeah.
But they just haven't been able to finish the deal. And we've talked about it a lot. It's a lot different when you're playing quarterback in this offense against a decent defensive team that covers your receivers better than some of these other teams that we've played. And you have to make those decisions as a quarterback, and quicker decisions, because they're also getting some pressure on you. So this is great experience for the Challengers.
Yes.
But as long as they don't give up and they play to gain experience in the second half, right? They have to play hard. They have to go out there with the right attitude and see if they can get some points on the board against Marist. I mean, that's what they need to start with. They received the second half kickoff. We'll see what's going to happen right off the bat.
Indeed. And, there's a lot of ways that can go. And I'm not talking about a comeback win. I think, from my perspective, that's out of the question. I agree. That's out of the question. But again, what are we looking for? The effort, the growth. It's like, okay, these mistakes that we made in the first half, can we not make them in the second? Can we execute?
Can we execute? Can we get some points on the board?
And then defense, which to me is such a large part effort.
It's effort and staying in your lanes, because a team like this, you've seen them in the first half. They do a good job of executing. They do a good job of doing something on one side of the field and running back on the other, misdirection type stuff. And if they're going to do that, you as a defender have to stay home and play and not get your eyes in the backfield watching the ball, but playing your responsibility and staying home so that when the ball does come back your direction, you're there to make a play.
Well, and I don't care what you're doing in life, whether it's athletics, whether it's music, or other things. How do you get better? You spend time around people who are better than you are.
Yep,
Tonight,
absolutely.
Marist is a better football team
Yep.
than Cascade, but that's not to say that there isn't room to make plays. And so we'll see what that second half brings, what kind of answer the Challengers will have, as they have opportunity right off the bat to get that 0 off the scoreboard for starters. We'll take a timeout, and when we return, we'll get you ready for the start of the second half. Challengers trail 41-0, and we'll be back after this timeout on Table Rock Sports.
Power Days at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up with a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from one of our largest inventories ever of new Jeep Cherokee 4x4s. Test drive a new Ram 1500 and see why Ram is Motor Trend's back-to-back three-peat truck of the year. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. Get Ram Power Days special pricing on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
Dear Dad, I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports, I love my team, I just want to play, but not if you always lose your temper. Love, Katie.
Know your role. Learn more at SouthernOregonSports.com.
Your daily adventure at My Circle K. Whether it's some Monday motivation to kickstart your day, adding some crunch to your lunch, or feeling up for a road trip, your journey begins with My Circle K, powered by GP Energy.
At 3 o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform?
Thirsty for change?
Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win. Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
It doesn't matter how old you are. Buying supplies for a road trip should always look like an unsupervised 9-year-old was given $20. Relive those days. Live life full circle. My Circle K, powered by GP Energy.
Back at U.S. Cellular Community Park, and one of the things I saw as the Challengers came out of the locker room, one of the things that I appreciate is that their school, their fellow students and their friends, their parents, their the teachers and everybody else that's here in attendance, they're still behind the team. Gave them a good round of applause just to, if nothing else, to say, hey, we're still here with you. And that's the thing. It may be easy to look at one or two particular guys and say, well, you made this mistake, but the reality of it is, at the end of the day, there's not one of those kids I wouldn't run through a wall for. And, I wish them all the best as they get out there, and look for them to show some fight and determination here in the second half, and see what they can come away with in terms of a valuable learning experience.
Absolutely, and that's hopefully what I'm sure that's what was talked about at half is, hey, you guys have the opportunity here to at least get some chances to show what you can do, to execute some plays, to be in the right spot on defense, to make a tackle when you need to, and to get better for next week, if nothing else.
Indeed, and talking about next week, the Challengers go to the road to take on Siuslaw, and that'll be another team that I am quite certain will not be an easy out.
Nope.
But then again, you don't get better by playing those teams. You might fatten your batting average a little bit, but it doesn't really make you a better football team. And really, for this team that is by and large young, that this will be valuable for them. This will be good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, the team that won the state title that year lost a game at Mazama. I think it was week 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. That was a game that Mazama just out-physicaled them is what they did, if you remember, right? And it made them get more physical. It made that team the team they were because of that loss.
Well, so you can look at a team on the other side and say, this is what a really good football team looks like.
Absolutely, and you know that you have to get physical to be able to do it. And, that's what football's about. You want athletic kids, but you also want physical kids that are going to attack.
DePioli will kick it along the ground, And it'll hop up, and Shields will go ahead and take it. And he'll go ahead and move it up to the 38-yard line, and that's where the challengers will come out. You see coming out of the field, Daniel Nearing, Matt Moses, Jackson Turi.
And I noticed the challengers with a few more hands guys in the game here on that kick return. Try to make sure they take care of that football.
And some experience. Brody Sample will be your wideout to the left. Wallace in the backfield. Shields in there along with...
we got a
Austin
kicking
Waits.
tee on the field.
Young man going for a little sprint on a Friday night.
Oh, it's Marist tee, so I guess Cascade picks up a tee or something like that. Or maybe we're just going to give it back to him later.
1st and 10 for the challengers at their own 37-yard line. Reed at quarterback. He'll hand off to Wallace. Yards have been hard to come by for him. He had 113 last week, and in that non-counting game that we played a half of, he went on a 70-yard touchdown run. And here on 1st down, he's able to muscle ahead for a couple of yards on the carry to bring up 2nd down and 8.
And it looks like wholesale substitutions out there for Marist.
Reed out of the shotgun. Twin receivers to the right. Ball's loose on the turf, and
That should be incomplete. It looked like it was forward to me.
yeah, broken play. Looked like from here. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
I don't understand why they're moving the ball back. It was a 4, yeah, it's incomplete pass, so it's back to, they're figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, you figure that's their first home game here. Of course, I'm sure that they had a couple of weeks in officiating other games, but yeah, they got it figured out. 3rd and 9. Reed dropping back, rolling left, gonna pump it up, get long downfield, and the pass is caught by
Tyler
Almacy. Touchdown, Challengers.
62 yards on the play, and a nice throw and a good catch by Almacy, and I like it. Take a shot deep, why not? And the Challengers pick up a touchdown to start the 3rd quarter.
A nice throw, nice catch. And the Challengers won't be shut out tonight. So credit the team with one good step forward.
There you go.
Challengers going to go for 2 here. Reed. Little pitch play. And running it in for 2. Tristan Wallace. So the Challengers get on the board in their first possession of the 2nd half. It is the Spartans 41, the Challengers 8. We'll be back after this timeout on Table Rock Sports.
Gather and memories are made. Tap Rock Northwest Grill.
Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford. Challengers open the 2nd half with a nice touchdown throw from Keith Reed to Tyler Almacy. 2-point conversion, good by Tristan Wallace. And it brings a little bit of new life into the team. A little squib kick there by
an attempted onside kick, I would think.
Yeah.
But Marist with a good job of getting on it.
So that'll give them a short field tonight. So here's the defense, the opportunity now to pin their ears back and adjust and see what they can do against this Marist team that has been a handful, to say the least. It looks like we've got some new personnel in the ball game. Spartans Brain Trust going to their bench. Shotgun formation. Twins to either side. On first down. And a loss of yardage on the play. With the carry for Marist is Drew Prickle, 5'8", 155-pound junior. Looks also like we've got Jackson Gibbo in the game, junior quarterback, number 6. Also in at a perimeter spot, Ryan Carey's number 7, a wide receiver. 2nd and 11. Spartans at the 47 of Cascade. Now Gibbo. And he's being chased down by Turi. And he drops him back to midfield. So Turi. Nice stop there. But, you know, this kind of underscores the depth of Marist.
Right.
That when they bring in their second unit, and you still have upperclassmen in the game.
Yeah, that just tells you that they're a lot bigger school than Cascade too, right?
Yeah.
So
that is another way of putting it.
3rd and long now for Marist.
3rd and 13. Gibbo now in at quarterback in relief of Green, who was 4 out of 5 and just highly efficient in the first half. Gibbo is going to take off and run, but Raig is there and wrestles him out of bounds. And he'll still pick up yardage, take it down to the 41.
Boy, they got a generous spot on that, didn't they?
I would say so. Looks like they may have got about an extra yard or 2 out of it. Now it looks like they are going to kick it, and I guess we're going to see how Chase does with the pitching wedge.
No, I wouldn't bet on them kicking it, if you know what I mean. Let's see.
It's not
especially
a given.
Especially after the hook and ladder earlier.
But this one.
Oh, he's got it. It checked up all right.
Yeah. Well.
Good for the Challengers.
Yeah. Challengers get it back, trailing in the ball game 41-8. Marist coming in with their presumed second unit. Some guys we hadn't seen in the ball game. Challengers, of course, and I don't, at this point, when you're talking about a 40-man roster, I think they still got to wait just a little bit before they can maybe
well, usually if they played a JV game this week, most of the JV guys would have a quarter. So, or maybe 2 at the most, depending on how much they played in the JV game.
You know what? I don't think they played a JV game this week. I think they play Marist JV next week.
Oh, okay.
If memory serves me correct. By the way, that does give me a chance to put in a little bit of plug for our other Challenger Sports programs. Cross-country team, they're going to be running up at the Nike meet up in Portland. And then the Challenger girls soccer team, their rivalry match with St. Mary's tomorrow. And this up-and-coming Challengers team looking to do something that hasn't been done in a while against a Crusaders team that, much like the Challengers, very much in a rebuilding mode. Wallace. Yeah, we'll give him a couple of yards on the play to bring up 3rd down. They have kept him in check tonight.
Yeah, they have, and they've got some big kids in that defensive line.
And the pass dropped by the Challengers. Looked like Peyton Maurer out there.
Yep.
We haven't seen as much of that tonight, thankfully.
Yeah, Peyton with a good opportunity, though, to get some yards out of that. Unfortunately, can't hang on. starts to run. That's what we've seen a couple of times tonight by the Challengers, starting to run before you catch the football. 4th and 9 now. It looks like Knobloch is going to come in and punt.
JT. One short kick and another hit to take off and run with it.
He boomed one last.
Oh,
there we go. There,
yeah.
That's better.
And the punt returned by Marist, running out the sideline. And that is Brandon Hauk.
Yeah, nice return by Hauk.
Well, it's kind of one of those jobs where there was just enough line drive to it that
coverage wasn't able to really get there in time. And he did a good job of cutting right back up the middle and then to the outside and getting a nice return.
Marist at the 36 of Cascade Christian. Jackson Gibbo at quarterback. Out of the shotgun. They'll hand the ball to Drew Prickle. Prickle bottled up. Cole Shields there for Cascade Christian. Score to pass along to North Medford, leading Liberty 17-7 in the third. Mason Warren connecting with Dyer for the TD on the latest score. 2nd and 11 for the Spartans. Gibbo getting pressure, and he's taken down. Cameron Ragg. And they'll take it back to near midfield.
Wow, nice job. Nice spot by the Challenger pass rush. He didn't even really have a chance to do anything. Gibbo right there. As soon as he turned to throw, Challenger's in his face.
Ryan Corey is the receiver, split out wide to the right. There are trips to the left for Gibbo, the quarterback, with Prickle in the backfield with him. 50 seconds left to go in the third. Now we'll go ahead and kind of a lateral, if you will. And Prickle scampers up to the 45-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down. 26 seconds left to go in the quarter. Chase will be in to kick, and
yeah, it seems like we played the whole third quarter right here between the 50 and the 30.
We have. We have, except for that touchdown pass from Reed to Almacy.
Yep.
A little ray of light. And that ends the third quarter of play. Your John L. Scott scoreboard showing Marist 41, the Challengers 8. We'll take a timeout, and when we return, we'll be back with more here on Table Rock Sports.
Gather and memories are made. Tap Rock Northwest Grill.
I believe in the bus system. They have always been there for my wife, and I know that she feels safe.
For me, riding the bus is a norm.
Other big cities have bus systems, and everybody rides the bus.
Having RBTD, just a bus stop away from my job, from my school, from my house, allowed me to be able to go to college, to get my 3 degrees, and still be a mom.
Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park, we have an alumni sighting. Logan Flinner in the house. Looks like we got Cade Sample
down there as well, yep.
And another young man down there that, well, not sure who that is. But always good to see Challenger alumni here. Marist going to kick it away. Looks like this one.
And go out of bounds at the 2.
Well,
that's what you call a great punt right there.
Yes.
And when it goes your way, right?
All right, I think small college All-American Ethan Hoffman punting up at George Fox would be proud.
There you go.
Of course, we talk about Logan Flinner being here. He plays George Fox along with the Shawn brothers.
Yes. Keegan is their starting quarterback, and he's been doing quite well.
You mean Hayden?
I mean Hayden, excuse me. Keegan's starting on defense.
And that's the only way Keegan will have it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Hayden's been having some nice results there, and Keegan as well has been playing safety for him. So both those guys getting a lot of playing time up there.
Well, those guys get it. It's about hard work.
Yep.
And both of them, I know, have just worked like crazy during the summer. Pass out in the flat, making the reception for Cascade Christian.
It's Freilich.
Christopher Freilich. Yep.
First time we've called his number today.
And, well, as a matter of fact, I believe he was wearing 28 last week, and we had a hard time figuring out who he was.
Yes, we did.
As did the public address in Eureka.
Give him about 6 yards there.
Second and manageable. They'll go hand the football off. And scampering forward into the ball game, moving from a wideout spot to the running back position is Brody Sample. Challengers move the chains here with 9:59 left to go on the ball game. And give them credit. This has been a better second half for them. The big thing is they haven't quit.
Yes, very true.
Reed throws out in the flat, pass complete, first down yardage, and more scampering down the sideline. I want to say from here, that looks like that's Al Macy.
It is.
That's Al Macy who caught the touchdown pass earlier in the ball game.
And he's elusive, that kid. You gotta love him for that.
You bet. He did some nice things in track back during the spring. I'll tell you, that's one thing I'm looking forward to seeing what our track team does this year. Challengers with trips to the right. Pass complete to Al Macy. He takes it at the 50, across the 40, down across the 30, keeps his feet inside the red zone to the 15, down to the 13 before he's taken out of bounds.
Yeah, nice moves there by Al Macy, showing those moves off.
Drew Sanis driving him out.
2 35-yard completions to Al Macy back-to-back right there.
That'll fatten your batting average in a hurry.
Yeah, it will.
Shields in the backfield now for the Challengers, and that's the thing. They've got options. It's not just Wallace, but they can go with Sample or Shields.
Oh.
And he had an open man. It looked like Maurer out there.
Yeah, Maurer wide open for a touchdown. It got tipped at the line of scrimmage. The ball did.
Ray going to check in for Al Macy. He's been a stalwart defensively. Freilich in the ball game, split wide to the right. Wide side of the field is the left, and that's for the Challengers. Line up with trips. Reed, he'll go ahead and keep it on the option play, keeps his feet, and gets across the 5-yard line down to about the 3.
Nice execution here by the offense. I like the tempo, and they're doing a good job of just, taking care of the football, first of all, and running their offense.
2nd and 1 now. Ball spotted at the 5-yard line. Shields. And Reed's going to go ahead and carry it, and he takes it home. Keith Reed.
5 yards out. Keith Reed with the touchdown.
Oh, giving the Challenger faithful a little something to cheer for here late in the ball game. And now, why not? What are they going to work on going for two? Or I see. Looks like okay. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and go for two here. Why not? Got to work on this too. Reed swings it out to Shields. Shields punches it in. Shields puts two more on the board for Cascade Christian. 6:38 to go. Challengers lead trail 41-16. We'll be back after this timeout on Table Rock Sports.
Six.
He's about that. Oh. So after that play by LaValle, and Ryan Carey, he was off to the races. But there may have been a reason for it. Offside penalty against Cascade Christian.
Well, that's this official over here. He's
oops. Okay.
They'll get it straightened out eventually. The official over here was signaling offsides, which offside's always on the defense instead of false start. He was pointing the right direction, just signaling offsides instead of false start. So
we're kind of like, huh?
Got a little bit confused out there.
Gibbo back in at quarterback. He tries to escape.
And there's Jack, I think, LaValle with the stop.
Jack says, "Hey, I'm in here.
Careful.
I'm earning my keep here." Oh, Jack. I had a chance to get to know him a little bit. He came out for track.
Oh, yeah.
In the 8th grade hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
He
should be high jumping as long as his legs are.
Yeah.
But I've got to know him a lot through basketball.
He's a fun kid.
Yep.
Good sense of humor.
Yep.
And he's got the ability to laugh at himself a little bit, too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And the Challenger's going to take the ball over with 1:30 to go here. See what they decide to do. Little better execution here in the second half, but you've also got to consider that, not the first defense in there against you as well for Marist. So
yeah,
lots of things the Challengers are going to be working on this week, and we'll see if they can, come back the way that championship team did previously and really start to play some better football going forward.
They're going to air this out, looking in the direction of, I believe that's JT Knobloch over there.
It is.
And pass falls incomplete.
Who threw that? Was that?
Reed's still in the game.
Is he?
Yeah.
Didn't look like Keith.
See, Ashton Moody.
I think that was Ashton Moody that time.
Moody's down here on the, I just see him right in front of me.
Oh, you're right. Maybe it is Keith. Yeah, it's Keith.
Pass complete. Nice catch. Cascade Christian. JT Knobloch. For years, we just called him just a kicker. He's not just a kicker anymore. And that is Reed at quarterback.
You're correct.
Reed. Pass complete. Freilich gets across the 35-yard line down to the 33. And that will end the ball game. So the Challengers came out second half. To the credit of Marist, they had accomplished what they needed to and let their second unit get some playing time. And I think the important thing is the Challengers didn't quit.
No, they didn't, and that was great. And that'll be something that they can build on for next week.
So the Challengers go to 1-1, and for perspective, folks, first time they've lost in nearly 2 years. So I think and you know that these games, especially when you have a younger football team, they're going to happen. And then in the immortal words of Chuck Swindoll, life is 10% what happens, 90% how you react to it. And I think the Challengers came out and played with good effort in the second half. We'll take a timeout. When we return, we'll give you the post-game wrap-up and all the stats. On your John L. Scott scoreboard, the Marist Spartans prevail. It's 41-16 final. We'll be back after this timeout on TableRockSports.net.
introducing a new way to achieve the highest level of savings, Peak Rewards. The Peak Rewards app is your roadmap to savings wherever your journey takes you. Simply by using our mobile app, you can shop for a mountain of savings in any of our convenience stores and fuel up for less. Just download the Peak Rewards app, register, find participating stations and stores near you, and start saving. With Peak Rewards, you can travel further for less. So what are you waiting for? Download Peak Rewards today and find a location near you.
Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford, Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore, cameraman Jared Thomas. Marist, one of the top programs in the Oregon 4A, showed why people have been making a lot of noise for. They came in with scores of 49, 42, and 42 coming into this game, and tonight they put up 41 against the Challengers. So while the Challengers took a little bit of a licking tonight, well, they got plenty of company on that island. The game started out interesting enough. The Challengers with a stop defensively on the first series of the game. They got it right back and had a nice drive going, and then the Spartans defensively came up with an interception, and then it was at that point where they called out the dogs, and look out. Marist got on the board first. It was Green with a 58-yard touchdown pass to Dave Paoli. Point after attempt good to make it 7-0. Ayoma would score 3 minutes later. 16-yard touchdown run, and that's the thing about this team. It's just not Tusky. Tusky's been getting a lot of headlines, and rightly so, as we saw tonight. The number 8, you recall earlier in the ballgame. But Ayoma, who wears number 3, he's a very good running back in his own right, and he showed that on the second score of the game. Point after, good to make it 14-0. And then it was Rodriguez on a 90-yard pick six. And Marist would go up 21-0 following the extra point. Then the quarterback, Green, well, we've heard that he can run too, and he showed what he could do. 13-yard touchdown run. Point after good to make it 28-0. And Marist was not done. With 1:45 to go in the half, it was Green on a 22-yard touchdown pass to Tusky. Point after attempt, no good to make it 34-0. Then right before the half, an electrifying and a big play and something fun to watch if you're a Spartans fan. Green passed complete to Chase. Then Chase pitched it to Tusky on the old hook and ladder play. 40-yarder good, and the point after good to make it 41-0 at halftime. Then in the second half, what we were looking for is what did the Challengers do in terms of their effort. And what would Marist do as far as, given the fact that they were up so big in the ball game and they were with deep team, able to go ahead and go to that second unit, let them get some playing time in, and the Challengers had opportunity to adjust and at least turn things around a little bit. And we saw a nice play, a touchdown yard, 62-yard touchdown pass from Keith Reed to Tyler Almacy. The 2-point conversion good by Wallace to make it 41-8. Then in the fourth quarter, Keith Reed would run it in himself. A 5-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion attempt by Shields good to give you your score of 41-16. And right on cue, Mark, looks like you're ready to relay us the final stats of the night.
I am, and you know, for Marist in that game, 15 first downs. Rushing yards, 30 carries for 132 yards on the ground, so they did a good job there. 5 for 6 passing for 145 yards, so very balanced attack from them. 145 yards in the air, 132 yards on the ground, 277 yards of offense. They had 110 yards in returns, including that 90-yard interception return for a touchdown. So 387 yards of offense for Marist in the game. I thought they definitely showed a very experienced, attack, and were, definitely the better football team tonight all the way around. Even when their second unit came in, the Challengers did better, obviously, in that second half against their second unit. But I tell you what, that's a good football team right there. I'd be, you said they were ranked number 2 in the state. I'd like to see who's number 1, because I tell you what, they looked very, very good. They executed their stuff. They're very athletic and very big up front, and they really out-physicaled the challengers tonight in every aspect. For Cascade Christian, they had 10 first downs in the game, 16 carries for just 47 yards, really not able to run the ball at all in this football game. Keith Reed, though, did throw the ball better, 16 for 24. Lot better percentage of completions in this game, 16 for 24 for 263 yards. So, one of them being that long pass, 62 yards to Almasi. But, I thought he threw the ball a lot better. It looked better. He did have the 2 interceptions, unfortunately. Both of them down near the red zone. Those were unfortunate. But for the challengers, I thought Keith's progression much better throwing the ball tonight. So I'm pleased with that. I think that's going to prove to be very helpful going forward. Return yards for the challengers, 660. So 370 yards of total offense for Cascade Christian. Again, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and one of those interceptions being returned for a touchdown. So the turnovers just killed them tonight. And they got down early and often, and they couldn't stop that snowball from coming down the hill, and it crushed them. And, they'll get better, and as we've said before, it's a learning experience for them going forward. And so hopefully they will realize that there are some good football teams out there, and they're going to play more of them as the schedule goes on.
Yes, as they have take on Siuslaw next week. By the way, did a little bit of research. That team that supposedly outranks them is Marshfield.
Oh, well, okay.
So
Marshfield usually pretty good as well.
Yeah.
And I think they won a state title in basketball last year, if I remember correctly.
I think they did. So a lot of athletes over there. So some good stuff going on in the 4A ranks. Meanwhile, the challengers, a refining opportunity, and now they'll get a chance to regroup, see what they learned, and get to try it all over again, although on the road next week against Siuslaw. And we will be here. Well, we'll be there to bring the game your way. And, yeah, it's like they say in Alaska. Some days you get the bear, some days the bear gets you. And today, Marist, a winner, 41-16 in convincing fashion. And for the challengers, they move on. And again, want to remind you, tomorrow at 10 a.m., the Challenger girls in action against St. Mary's over on Field 13 at 10 a.m. And I'm sure that young and up-and-coming team would appreciate your support. Meanwhile, the volleyball girls go on the road against, they'll play St. Anne Christian and then Salem Academy in a doubleheader. For Mark McLemore and Jared Thomas, I'm Jim McCoy. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we look forward to bringing more action your way on Table Rock Sports. Good night, everybody.